Join me every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday for some MTG Arena content. New episodes featuring Limited, Standard, Brawl, Standard 2022, Jumpstart, whatever we can play. I hope you guys enjoy the video. What is up, guys, and welcome back to another episode of OB Plays MTG. Today, we are playing in Historic. I kind of want to do something a little different than the casual stuff that we've been doing. So I decided to pick up just a monocolored aggro deck just to see how it does, and I've heard a lot of great things about Mono-Black Aggro. So what we're doing, two great discard spells in Historic that everyone knows about, Thoughtseize and Inquisition of Kozilek to get things out of people's hands, and then we want to drop a bunch of small, cheap, recursive threats like Dread Wanderer, Gutterbones. Knight of the Ebon Legion isn't recursive, but it's probably one of the best black 1-drops released in a very long time. Skyclave Shade, which is another recursive threat, 3-1, just drop it in late in the game, it becomes a 5-3. Then you have access to like Heartless Act and a couple other good removal spells like Murderous Rider. Your top end, Rankle, Master of Pranks. It's an all-star from Throne of Eldraine. Attacks when it deals combat damage to the player. You can choose any number of them. Each player discards a card. Each player loses 1 life and draws a card, and each player sacrifices a creature. Spawn of Mayhem. It's a decent mythic from, I believe that's Guilds of Ravnica. Flying, Trample, Spectacle, so when you deal damage to with anything, you can cast it for a Spectacle cost. At the beginning of your upkeep, Spawn of Mayhem deals 1 damage to each player. Then if you have 10 or less life, put a +1/+1 counter on Spawn of Mayhem, which you'll see in one of the games. It's kind of funny. I kind of forget that that's a thing. Typical lands, Castle Locthwain, Faceless Haven, snow-covered lands. Duress for control matchups, Fatal Push for other creature decks, more removal. Doomblade, great against non-black creature decks. Soul Guide Lantern for, like, is it Phoenix? Mizzix Mastery just got control decks. Legion's End, good for tinier creatures, stuff that we can just get rid of and there's multiples of it, or like tokens. Tokens is another one. Rotting Regisaur, just bring that in against stuff that's trying to put bigger stuff down, because there ain't nothing bigger than Rotting Reggie. I hope you guys enjoy the videos. I went 2-1, I think, you know, so like it's amazing. I kind of had to re-record this intro because of me playing a song I can't play. I didn't realize. So enjoy the videos, guys. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think. Hit that bell so you know when the videos are coming. Let's get into the games. Mono-Black Aggro. Really excited to play something in the competitive scale. I'm really enjoying Brawl too. Like, there's a lot of fun stuff happening on Magic the Gathering Arena right now. Played a tournament all day today. I went 3-4 and then ended. Played some Niv Mizzet. Pretty much the same deck as I did on the video, but took Rest in Peace in, and it worked in some matchups, but it didn't in others, and it also kind of turned off some of our cards, so we kind of ran into some issues with it, but I'm kind of glad that we took a shot. We'll keep this. Look at these fancy swamps. Got the whale swamps, Modern Horizons swamps. I can't not get lands. Like, it drives me crazy. Spawn of Mayhem. Looks like opponent is playing Jund Sacrifice, which is a bummer. We'll just play this. Opponent already took is down to 15 because of lands. Wall of Blossoms. Okay, so maybe they're playing that Abzan Blink deck that's going around right now. Which would be beneficial for us because the other one is rough. Opponent only has 2 mana available. Another Wall of Blossoms. Drawing cards. I think we're going to Thoughtseize this time. Get rid of this Garruk. Play a Dread Wanderer and another Knight. Yes, I know, I'm dumping my hand. But what else are we going to do? Opponent doesn't have anything to do but explore next turn, so we're going to go ahead and just attack in, deal some damage.
Opponent will probably try and cut off the damage a little bit, but explore into a land doesn't really do anything for them unless they drew a removal spell. So we'll see. Probably play that. Okay. Interesting. We will play this Faceless Haven. Let's go ahead and smack in. I'm not really like concerned about opponent blocking because we're definitely playing Spawn of Mayhem. So, okay, eliminate's fine. Cast it for the spectacle. We're sitting pretty right now. I mean, opponent can't really do much here. They have to get rid of this, so it really depends on what they draw, I guess. Cycling something, that's a good sign for us. Means that they don't have anything. And if opponent does nothing, yep, we're moving on to the next game. This isn't going to be good. This isn't really that good either. I'm not really, honestly, 100% sure what opponent's doing. So we're going to go ahead and we'll bring in some Duress. Question is, what do we take out? I think we're going to take out some of these. And we'll just keep it this way. Keep the pressure on the opponent. Opponent knows what we're playing now, so they'll probably keep a hand that better represents what we're playing, so we'll see what happens. Sure, why not? Opponent's probably going to Thoughtseize us. We're not that concerned about that right now. Enters battlefield tapped. It's good one drop. I think we're going to just play this one out. Smack. Play this. Next turn, we got a lot of stuff coming at them. Field of Ruin doesn't really do anything unless we have Faceless Haven, so we'll go ahead and play Castle Locthwain. Swing in. Opponent probably has Eliminate. Wow, okay. Bing, bing, bing. We'll cast this for the Spectacle cost. Opponent needs something other than Eliminate to kill this because it's 4 mana, so they just took damage for virtually no reason. Seems like they're trying to do big things in Golgari. Okay. Well, they can only... Alright, they did that side. So what we're going to do is we're probably going to drop a Rankle Master of Pranks here. Actually, we'll just keep smacking away. We don't have to go too crazy with it. We'll drop Dread Wanderer. I kind of want to keep Rankle just in case. If they have another extinction event. Yeah. Let's go ahead and Thoughtseize our opponent. We'll get rid of Wall of Blossoms. Then we're going to drop this. Force the opponent to do something. This only handles 3 mana value, so he's kind of in a spot. And that's game. That would be game. That was an excellent showing of the deck. I mean, we did everything we came to do. Let's move on to the next one. Still rocking Mono-Black Aggro today, guys. I wish I could make my lights black. That would be tight. Like, just black light. I know that's probably not possible in any way, shape, or form, but it would be tight to, like, darken up the room without it looking ridiculous. Or like a deep, deep purple. BMW. But Mono-Black Aggro. Last game was super fun. We're on the play. Let's, gosh, I wish this was a land. If this was a land, I would keep this in a heartbeat. We might get greedy. Greed keep. There's like 20-something lands in the deck, right? I mean, ooh, snap. Okay, they're playing either Jund or Niv Mizzet Reborn, so we might get lucky, we might not. It also does kind of blow, because if it is Niv Mizzet, then they have Vanishing Verse. This isn't a really good matchup for us right now. But if it's Jund, also not a good matchup. So we're going to go ahead and Inquisition, see what they got. Let's take their Thoughtseize. Probably going to play one of the Triomes, so we're definitely playing up against the Niv Mizzet Reborn. We have Heartless Act for anything. I mean, when Niv Mizzet comes down, we're kind of in trouble, but what can you do? Okay, you can get rid of what you want, bro. I would get rid of Heartless Act personally, but I can see why they would get rid of the what's it called? Knight, because we can start pumping it and dealing extra damage, and then it grows, it grows, it grows. We have 2 cards in the graveyard, so they can use Drown in the Loch to kill something here. A land wouldn't hurt. Okay. They decide to take Niv. I mean, we got to, right? We're playing aggro, not sit still grow. Each player loses life, draws a card. Each player discards a card. Do I want to give them a card? Not really. No. Well, I mean, I guess they can do that. There's only 3, so they can't use Drown in the Loch on Rankle. Yeesh. Okay, they Lightning Helix that, which is interesting. And now they're dead. Mono-Black Aggro. Putting in the work today. Alright, Niv. This does nothing, because except for Gigantha. Fatal Push does nothing. I guess we just bring in Duress again. This card isn't as good, because a lot of their stuff... I think we'll take out Heartless Act. To be honest, we don't even really need it. We'll get an Inquisition, and we'll bring in Rotting Regi. Even if opponent gets rid of it, it's a good early threat. And they can't Lightning Helix it. They can Vanishing Verse it, which is rough, because they're going to start boarding in some crazy things. I just played this deck for 7 matches for like 5 hours today, so I'm exhausted on it. I know what they're doing, especially if it's the list I played. But we just need a good, fast start, pump in some damage, and we should be good to go. We got lucky on the Greed Keep. I think this is just a solid keep. This is just a solid keep. We're going to keep that immediately. First turn, we're going to Inquisition, get something out of their hand. Thoughtseize. The next turn, we have plenty of mana to get things going. Opponent will probably play a Triumph first, which is a benefit for us. So if we get a better head start than they do, we can start taking key cards out of their hand and really get things going here. Drawn into a ton of discard, that's a benefit. Get rid of Vanishing Verse immediately. Opponent will probably drop Dragon Skull Summit and get one of the discard spells from our hand. Or Spawn. Spawn of Mayhem would make sense too, or one of the creatures. We are definitely going to do this though. Extinction Event, bye-bye. And then this. So they are down to 1 land, which is good for us. I will probably play Faceless Haven next. Yeah, that works out. That checks out. Then we're just going to play Castle Locthwain and smack on in. Dive on in. We have a flyer, which is a benefit to us. Opponent's not doing too well with draw spells, which is a benefit to us as well. We're going in for about a ton of damage, so opponent's probably looking for something to deal with the Spawn of Mayhem, which they could very well have. This is an interesting draw. I think we're going to attack first. We'll play that. Okay. Opponent has to draw into something here, but they're dead. Because if they block this, then they die from that. GG's. Mono-Black. We are sweeping the competition. Wow. I mean, opponent could have really gotten us if we didn't have that, didn't cast that Regisaur when we did. They could have really came back with like Teferi or anything else. Honestly, Mortality Spear, Lightning Helix. We caught them on their turn. Had enough creatures on the battlefield. We kept enough pressure up. Know what I call that? I call that a decent win. Mono-Black Idar. Last 2 games. I'm gonna start throwing a 3rd game in on the main videos because I figured it out. I thought I could only do a certain amount of time, and apparently I don't. That's not true. So I genuinely want to put this to the bottom. I can't remember if I'm going first or opponent is. I think opponent is, so. Oh no, I am. Let's go ahead. Inquisition of Kozilek. Okay, they're playing Boros midrange. We are going to cast our Dread Wanderer. We will Thoughtseize. Yeah, get rid of the Ancestral Blade. They got a couple turns before we really have to start worrying about things. We also have Heartless Act. So, honestly, if we... Yeah, we didn't draw into the land like I had planned. So, we're just going to keep smacking. Mila. We're going to kill that. You can draw a card. That's fine. You can live your life. We are going to attack. We're not drawn into lands like we'd like to. Oh, okay. Neat. let's go ahead and do this. Bye-bye Shadow Spear. We'll play a Gutterbones and call it a day. I will block this if I have to. It's a +2/+0, so that's fine. Oh, wow. That's pretty cool. Now, if we could draw into land, we're like in a better spot, but we're still hurting. So, opponent will probably cast this thing again. Land. I mean, yeah, you know what? Let's go for it. Opponent might not block. You know what we're going to do then? We're just going to attack and we're going to play Spawn of Mayhem. We don't necessarily have to do too much here. If opponent wants to cast Halvar, that's a little rough. But we can also kill Valduk. Or this. We can kill that too. So we will smack in. Grow our Knight of the Ebon Legion. That's okay. Really depends on what we don't really have to do anything. Like, that's the humor in this. Opponent can equip that, but we're just going to block it with Gutterbones. Trying to think what we need here. We're gaining a lot of help with the fact that opponent is not getting their land drops. We're going to go ahead and bring that onto the battlefield, play another one. I'm not exactly sure why this is a 5/5. Oh, okay. 10 or less life. All right. I'm like confused at how Spawn of Mayhem works. Looks like opponent might not have drawn a land. Yeah, they didn't draw a land. So, yeesh. We're going to block the 3/1. And that is game. Mono-Black. We're bringing in this. And I honestly might even bring in that. We'll bring in that. I don't know if I want to have Thoughtseize against an aggro deck. We can go down one Inquisition. To be honest, we can go down all of those because they're not going to do us any good. A couple Thoughtseize. We have tons of removal for their creatures. Could be interesting. Idar. This is a new deck, Boros Midrange. I've been seeing it floating around on Twitter and stuff. A lot of people want to play with Halvar, God of the stuff. God of Valor. Whatever you want to call him. And, yeah. It's pretty dope. Personally, it's not my style. Boros has always been kind of like a thing. You want to talk to my brother-in-law, he loves Boros. It's like one of his favorite color combinations. I'm just not into it. I don't like equipment, I think, except for Embercleave. Like, you know, call it the cleave. But this is a pretty greedy hand. Oh, wow. That's a crap hand. All right. We're going to ship one of the lands and a Skyclave Shade. Now we just need to draw into lands. That'd be nice. Opponent probably brought in Scorching Dragonfires and things of that sort. We do need to get a threat onto the battlefield ASAP. We're going to kill that. Go ahead and attack in. We do have another Doomblade. Depends what the opponent does. They play like a weird equipment or something. Okay, Mila. Doomblade. That's cool though. A lot of people don't really play with the new Luca Planeswalker. We're going to keep putting the pressure on. I'm hoping we draw into lands. Opponent will probably play another creature. There's not much we can do in that situation. We're going to attack. Okay. We're in a bit of trouble because I don't have the lands I need. So yeah, that's. I think we're just gonna move on. I'm not gonna sit there and while the opponent gets all this stuff on board presence. We need a faster start. We're on the play. It just works out a little bit better in this game. Might bring in Duress. Go down a Heartless Act and go down I'm going to go down Fatal Push completely. We'll bring in another Thoughtseize because Fatal Push, all their creatures are larger, so there's not much I can do unless I'm losing creatures, and 4-drops and stuff like that. I don't really, except for Halvar. This is rough. Okay, I guess we'll keep this. Hope we draw into something. We'll keep Doomblade, Heartless Act. We'll play out in Knight of the Ebon Legion. Hope we draw into lands. It's the best thing we can do. I just don't want to go down too far. We're going to go ahead and play another Knight. This could be wild if we start drawing lands. Looks like we're not going to be drawing lands, so we'll keep putting the pressure on, and hopefully we can grow these a little bit. We draw into a land. They play like a creature now. Okay. We did not draw into the land. No attacks. We're in trouble. Vigilance and First Strike is kind of crazy. Yeah, I need something right now. Oh my goodness. We'll go ahead and attack with both Gutterbones. Do something. If opponent plays like something crazy here, there's really no point. I need to get a land like now. And I mean, yeah, no blocks. I need a land like super quick, otherwise we're in big trouble. Ugh. No attacks. Not much I can do here, guys. Yep, and that's just a problem. So, I need a land, and I need to start clearing these creatures out. History of Benalia. I think opponent got the best of us on this one. Yeah, we drew into the land, but I think it's a little bit too late. We'll kill this. Oh, life total becomes 10. Interesting. No attacks. We'll block against this. Gonna take some damage. Drew into the land. We'll destroy this. No attacks. We're going to go ahead and end it. Look, man, some games you just can't win. And that's okay. It's how you get better at the game. But then again, this really wasn't at fault of mine. If I would have had that second land and I would have started clearing out the Danitha Capuchin or whatever, we would have probably had a better shot at winning. But opponent got to their strong mana point and ended up having better cards than I did. I mean, I can't really do anything with 1/2s and 2/1s on turn 6. You know what I mean? But that's how you get better. That's how you do things right. And yeah, that was a good string of games. We went 2-1. So let's get to the wrap up. So as we saw, Mono-Black did actually pretty well. 2-1, which isn't bad. And I honestly just recorded these games in succession. I didn't record multiples. Since I'm doing 3 games, might as well just do them the way we do them. Last game, we just got mana screwed. If we would have had, more success with our mana, we probably would have won that game, honestly, because that opponent comes in super late, and we had tons of removal available to us that we just couldn't cast. Obviously, Spawn of Mayhem, Rankle, great cards. All these cards just work really well in succession with each other. Rotting Regisaur won us a game, so can't go wrong with Mono-Black Aggro and Historic right now. It sits pretty well, minus against the 5-color Niv decks, which play Vanishing Verse as removal. Monocolored decks don't really do well against it. But Jeskai, I mean, they can kill your stuff, but it's coming back. And with Soul Guide Lantern in the right place, you can really deal some damage against these decks. And a lot of these decks are just trying to go into the late game, and this deck's trying to kill you super early. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'm glad that I could do something a little bit more competitive than Brawl. But you might see another video on Tuesday, because I'm feeling kind of nice and I want to do some bonus Brawl videos and showcase some cool decks. Like, subscribe, comment, hit the bell so you know when I'm putting out videos, and I will see you guys again next time.